Drink Cinema! Cheers. Welcome to another episode of Two Drink Cinema. We are 2 out of 3 brothers reviewing movies 2 drinks at a time. Hello, Brett.
Hello, Lee.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good.
That is good.
Do you want to know the tagline for our movie this week? Say yes.
Yes. I was going to try come up with a funny one, but I couldn't think of anything.
Based on a true story.
That's the... Oh.
No, it says based on a true story above the title,
Oh,
and then
okay.
underneath it says laughter is contagious.
Well, it depends who you ask about how well it's based on that true story.
As most based on a true story movies go.
Especially if it's about the person, Patch Adams, and Patch Adams says he hates the movie.
Yeek.
Oh.
The movie is Patch Adams, starring Robin Williams and a cast of other people.
Uh-huh. There's other people
As
around.
often happens in a lot of Robin Williams movies. We are going to review that this week for its 25th anniversary from its 1998 release. And we are going to start with a drink that Brett has concocted.
I have concocted a cocktail.
Who's taking the bigger risk? Patch Adams opening his clinic or you creating this cocktail?
Me creating this cocktail because we are on record in a previous episode of having hated cherry brandy.
Yep.
But it's there.
With white rum?
With white rum and Kirk's lemon squash.
Okay.
Because it was on special. Or your preference of lemon-flavoured soda beverage.
Okay. So it could be solo, could be lift if you're in a country that still has lift.
So I've based it kind of off a couple of cocktails, one to do with the clown and one to do with the doctor.
Oh,
I can't remember what they were called.
All right.
Because I Googled, like, clown cocktails and came up with, like, Halloween shit. I'm like, no, like, not all clowns are scary.
Maybe we should have a crazy Joe Davola. He is scary as a clown, but
Yeah.
that
but
would make
that's
a cocktail.
because he's crazy, not a clown.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
Yep.
So this could be...
Well, it's red, like the enema bulb
like
that was his nose.
Yes, good. That's kind of what I was going for.
Cheers.
But we'll see. Cheers.
Nope. Like, it's not a hard no, like some of the others, but it's not a success. It's not one of your best, I have to say.
Cherry brandy... Cherry brandy is not nice. And it overpowers everything.
All right,
Like,
if anybody's listening...
There is 10 mils of cherry brandy in that.
Okay.
And it's basically cherry brandy and fucking lemon squash. And you can barely taste lemon squash.
If anyone's listening and likes cherry brandy and wants 2/3 of a bottle of cherry brandy, then come and take it from us.
I'm determined to find a cocktail where cherry brandy works without tasting like bloody
Cough medicine.
Robitussin.
Yeah. Spoonful of sugar. Maybe you didn't put enough lemon squash in. Simple syrup is a spoonful of sugar in cocktail form.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, what a disappointment. Much like this movie.
We'll still work our way through it, both the cocktail and the movie.
Okay.
One thing, unrelated to the movie but kind of related. When Universal turned 100, they had a new version of the opening music.
Yeah.
And it's got more low brass in it.
Okay.
And I much prefer that
Okay, good.
to the one that I got at the start of Patch Adams.
You didn't like the 1920s. Ba-ba-da-da-da. Like, what was their, like, Universal's music?
No, it was the same. Do, 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 do. That's it, isn't it, Universal? Do, 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 do.
Do-do.
Do, do, do,
Yeah,
do.
okay. Yeah, that's Universal.
So that goes. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. That happens. But then in the newer version, when it goes the second time, after the jump, jump, do, 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 the low brass comes underneath and goes and helps build it up.
Okay.
Okay?
That's not biased at all. My favorite version of
People
the
will
Universal...
know.
My favorite version of the Universal music is when they do it at the start of Pitch Perfect, and it's like a cappella.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They did have a very early one that was different.
It's like my favorite version of the 20th Century Fox music is when it's in the Simpsons movie and Ralph Wiggum comes out. Ba, 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 ba.
Oh, not the Minions ones. Don't the Minions ones do it?
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Is Minions Fox?
No, that's DreamWorks, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's Universal. So it's the Minions singing.
Okay.
Banana, banana, banana. They love bananas, Minions.
Cool. Good to know.
All right.
Shall we talk about Patch Adams?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So we start off with a guy on a bus. And I don't know if it's because I know Robin Williams' career or if he just has a bit of star quality, but seeing him being an ordinary person on the bus doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I think that I don't remember anything about this opening of checking
honestly,
himself into an asylum.
Don't remember anything about this movie.
I remember that he's a doctor that is like a clown.
Yeah, that's all I remember. And I kind of remember that ranch house and him being in the ward with kids.
Yep.
That's all I really remember. So
there's your spoilers for iconic scene, everyone.
Yeah. We get him sitting on a bus trying to look like a normal schmo.
Yep.
But then he does check himself into a psychiatric hospital, which is a bit dark, but also is good at... I'm going to talk about it as a movie, not as a true story.
Okay, good.
Okay, and then you can talk about how wrong it is as a true story.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a good setup that he is in a very dark and depressing psychiatric hospital because it very much shows how people aren't actually being treated in those places.
Yeah.
Like the orderlies are just like, there you go, get in the room.
Yeah.
This bloke's lost his mind. This bloke doesn't move. This bloke just pisses the bed.
This bloke is a crazy person in every movie he's ever in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they don't... And then we meet the actual doctor who also doesn't treat Robin Williams, Hunter Adams.
Yep.
Doesn't listen to him, and he talks about random shit during their meeting. So
If I
that...
could light my own farts, I could fly to the moon or at least Uranus.
Yes. So that really sets up how Hunter Adams is like, well, this treatment is shit.
Yeah.
But then it moves pretty quickly into him, like, dissolving that group session into jokes.
Yes.
And then he just gets the name Patch from a bit of sticky tape on a coffee cup.
He patches a coffee cup and then insane but not insane person that's probably
Yep, insane.
just got dementia.
Yeah. Just says
Patch.
Patch, and then that's it. He's
And
got
then
his
he
name.
refuses to be called anything else.
Yeah, yeah. Fully checks himself out. So I can see that that Patch nickname might have developed over an amount of time he spent with this man.
Yep.
But in the movie, it's just like, oh, Patch. And then that's it. That's his name forevermore.
Yes.
Even the dean of the university is not allowed to call him Hunter.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get on to the dean.
Yep.
So the psych hospital stuff is good. Gives us a baseline of how average treatment of patients can be in the medical field. But it does happen quickly. And then 2 years later, he's at medical school.
He's in medical school. Done.
Which seems very quick.
Uh-huh.
Like, I assume he has a college degree, Hunter
I think
Adams.
he would have to, yep.
But he gets into medical school reasonably quickly and meets Philip Seymour Hoffman, who plays arrogant so well. Just as a general rule.
Just as a general rule, he does. But I also think his acting in some points was bad.
Little OTT.
As was much of people's. No, there was one thing where it was like, why are you a prick? This is much later on in the movie. I'm skipping ahead. And he's like, you're making my thing a joke. Yeah, I'm like, this is not good.
Well,
Philip, I'm speaking ill of the dead. But
I can imagine that it was like, you have to be the dead straight, super serious representation of medical student against Robin Williams.
But it was also just the way he said it, like, line, gap, line, gap, line.
This is what I said last week. He wasn't an A-grade star at this point.
No.
So he still had a little bit of growth to come from his career.
He maybe didn't get the best script either, but...
The dean does the admission speech,
Uh-huh.
and the quote, "train the humanity out of you," is very pointed because that is the exact opposite of what Patch Adams wants to do.
He wants to study the development of the mind, but also be a pediatrician.
That's the other guy who wants to be a pediatrician.
No, oh yeah, he wants to. Yeah, that's
because
right.
they say, I want to treat people. And he goes, I want to do pediatrics. And he's like, oh, well, little people.
Yeah.
Before they go into the Meat Packers convention.
Yeah,
And he basically does a stand-up set
Yep.
at Meat Packers. It's very much a Robin Williams movie with other people, as I said at the start. But he is very good. When they're sitting there in the diner and the woman's like, burger? And he goes, yeah, right here on the colon. That's where it's going anyway. Like,
Yes.
that's just Robin Williams
Yeah.
being Robin Williams. And that leads further into the Meat Packers thing, which is just Robin Williams going off and being Robin Williams at a Meat Packers convention. But it does serve the purpose of showing how well Patch Adams can connect to people.
Oh, so that was the purpose of the scene.
Yes.
Not just to get a lab coat at the end.
Yeah, well, that was a part of the scene.
I was like, why do we need this?
Well, it's to show that he can connect with people
Yeah.
very quickly and easily, which is going to form the basis of what becomes his purpose in medicine.
Yes.
Did you notice Coach Beast from Glee
I did.
as Miss
I
Meat?
did.
So,
Best extra.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, actually, I didn't write that down. Could be. The puns are all in there. Nice to meet you, and Shanks for the memories.
Yeah,
and then he puts all of those puns into his speech. Lend me your steers, and we've been getting a bad rap.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. But that is there to show how funny he can be as Robin Williams, both Robin Williams and Patch Adams, and to show how well he can connect with people, so that as we go through the rest of the movie and he's connecting with patients, we're like, oh, this natural connection with people that he has works in medical as well.
Yeah.
Do you reckon there was a script for that first scene in the kids' ward?
No.
Not a chance. Not a chance. They just like, here you go. There's bedpans and stuff in there.
There might have
Go
been
nuts.
at one stage, but when they hired Robin Williams, they just ripped out those pages.
You don't reckon this was written for him?
No.
Okay, we'll come back to that later then.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, probably you're right. As soon as they were like, well, Robin Williams is on, then they were like, well, the writer's like, I fucking wrote 80 pages that now are just going to be worthless.
Unless
Because Robin Williams is going to do his thing with it.
Yeah, it might have even just been a lesser scene. Like he
Yeah.
helps that one girl, but then
Doesn't go on and on
Yeah.
from there. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, they get there, and then the nurse is obviously not happy once he makes the kids laugh, and the nurse tries to get them all back into bed.
yeah,
And as I said about Philip Seymour Hoffman, we have all of these characters with varying levels of seriousness to go against him. We have Philip Seymour Hoffman, we have Monica Potter, even to an extent, his best mate, who becomes his best mate, Truman,
yeah,
is a serious person. And then that is Dean Walcott being the most serious.
yeah, being like like the warden of a prison or something.
Yeah. What gives you that idea?
I don't know.
Then and I didn't quite realize it until I kind of I watched it and then I skimmed through it again to look for extras and bad lines.
Okay.
And that's when I realised the arc of Dr. Eaton, the resident at the hospital, who at the very start is doing the rounds, and when Patch Adams is like, what's your name? To the woman with the foot they're going to cut off,
Yes.
he's like, oh, whatever, and then walks on. But then later, he's laughing in the hearing,
Yeah.
and
And he's like room 60
on board with him.
bed 403 needs Mrs. What's her face needs
Yep. So he has quite a good arc for a minor character. Dr. Eaton, played by Joseph Summer, which you all will have seen in things, but never at the top of the bill.
Yes.
So the big thing that we get to at this point of the movie is him challenging the establishment.
Yeah.
And
Kind of annoyed me, if I'm honest.
that seems to be a big part of the movie, but I guess that was actually a big part of the real Patch had to do that in order to get his doctorate. But I also think like sometimes maybe just like get through and get your degree and then do what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to... People would have noticed those legs for the gynecologist people that came. Like he didn't make them in his dorm room and then just put them up an hour before they got there.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit of a stretch.
That's about 2 weeks worth of paper mache.
Yeah.
Because it's like framework underneath paper mache as well.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That people wouldn't have like just gone, oh, yeah, they're just extending the door frame.
I do understand the criticism that he could be cheating.
Yep.
Because one, you don't see him study. Even when they're in the library studying, he's not studying.
Well, you also don't see any scenes that really tell us before he gets a 98 that he is intelligent.
Yeah.
Like, that is a minor discussion in the psychiatric hospital.
Yeah. Or
But
because he
then-
looked at fingers differently, he's smart.
Yeah. And then with the psychiatrist, it's a little bit of something. But then it's all of a sudden like, well, you're kind of a genius, which is why you don't need to study.
Yeah.
But I do understand the people thinking he is cheating.
Yeah. Fair
And
enough.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is in a very good position to see whether or not he studies.
Yeah. Because
Like
he
they
doesn't
live
leave his
together.
room.
No. I did wonder if the love story was necessary.
I hated it. I was just like, at one stage, I yelled at the TV.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking leave her alone.
Yeah.
She doesn't want anything to do with you.
No.
This is sexual harassment. It was sexual harassment.
It was, and I didn't, story-wise, I didn't find the love story necessary, but then I also didn't find her being murdered necessary.
I didn't find they didn't have chemistry to me as well.
Can I be critical?
Can I? Yep, go. I'll say something after you say something.
I don't think Monica Potter has chemistry.
I think
Full stop.
I think well, I was looking at her on the screen at one stage, and then I decided Monica Potter just gets roles because Julia Roberts wasn't available, and she kind of looks like Julia Roberts, but isn't as good.
Yeah.
That's what I've decided is how she has a
So
career.
she's in her top 4 is the last house on the left.
Yeah.
Saw, Along Came a Spider, and
Yeah.
Patch Adams.
Yeah,
She's still working.
she's still working, but she's not Julia Roberts. I mean, that's a bit of an
actually,
unfair comparison to go.
current-
But there's nothing in between.
Her current work is she is in a podcast series.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm not devaluing podcasts.
Are you listening? Do you want to join us, Monica Potter? Now I just ripped through your career.
She was in 21 episodes of Boston Legal. So she's done stuff.
She is a working actress. I just think she's one of those people where you don't know her name.
It's our second Monica Potter movie. Do you know that? Can you name the other one?
Wait. Speed 2.
You liked it less than Patch Adams.
Flubber.
Con Air.
Oh, God. Oh, is he her wife? She her wife?
Yeah.
She his wife. Fucking hell.
Yes.
I just...
She's
got all the sexualities in one.
She's his wife. She doesn't
Okay.
have chemistry with anyone, even like Nick Cage, Robin Williams, nothing.
And I get in this at the start of this, she's meant to be an uptight bitch
Yeah.
and calls herself a lesbian.
But she remains an uptight bitch even after she falls in love with him.
But does she? It's so confusing to me.
Yeah.
She's a bit of a tease. But also leave her alone. Like the whole thing.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
maybe if you had nicer shirts, might give you more of a chance, Patch Adams. They're fucking ugly.
Or if you also weren't 20 years older than the entire student body.
Yeah.
So that's a criticism.
Uh-huh.
Before the gynecologist thing, though, I jumped ahead a bit to the paper mache legs, which reminded me of Magda Zubanski in Fast Forward. Just look for the big pair of legs with the hairs on them.
Okay. That's a very niche.
Institute de Beauté. I'll see if I can find that.
I can picture
clip.
her saying that. Just look for the big hairy legs. Yeah.
Yep. I'll see if I can find that on YouTube to put on a TikTok. I don't know why the dean would have selected Patch Adams to host the event, other than for him to fail and then expel him.
Yes.
Which is what happens.
It was that. And then I think it was also just like, it's an annoying job and I want to give it to someone I don't like.
And if I give it to you, maybe you're doing that and not studying and you fail your next test.
Yeah, even though he's not going to go from 98 to 48 overnight.
No.
Although he's not fucking studying, so maybe he will.
I also don't believe that not a single gynecologist smiles at that joke.
Uh-huh.
Particularly when he says, "Come on in."
Oh, no.
It's a bit slippery.
No, that was disgusting. That was disgusting.
No, I thought it was great.
I thought this was a kid's movie, but I was kind of mistaken.
No. So then we start to get the payoff of some of the things in that he is there when Peter Coyote dies.
Yeah.
And that connection pays off.
Mm-hmm.
And then that, together with the lack of funding for healthcare, gives him this idea of creating a napkin holder with glasses on it that somehow Truman is meant to know is a hospital.
Right. Yes.
Like you're sitting in a diner and he goes, "What do you see?" Oh no, and then he takes it to Monica Potter. "What do you see?" Like a thing with a nose on it. Like, yeah, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
I get, it's a throwback to look past the problem and use your imagination that he did with the guy in the psychiatric hospital, but I think it's a bit of a stretch to expect Monica Potter to be able to look at that and go, yes, that's a free clinic that's going to revolutionize healthcare in the United States of America.
Yes.
But he convinces her to, as he has managed to convince her to do a lot of things in this movie.
Uh-huh.
So he does rounds properly.
Yep.
And he learns some actual shit.
Mm-hmm.
But then they rebuild the hut and paint it and start taking patients in the matter of one montage.
Yeah, and
which is great movie storytelling.
I was like, I again was talking to my television.
Yeah.
I was like, surely this is illegal.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It turns out it is, because then after Corinne gets murdered, Monica Potter gets murdered, which is unexpected and very deep and dark.
I knew as soon as she went there, I'm like, she's going to get murdered.
I thought it was going to be the R word.
Oh, because she'd kind of touched on that.
Yeah.
I don't trust men, some issue there.
Men have always found me attractive.
Yeah.
And so I was expecting
a weird subplot that never went anywhere.
Well, I just found that whole love story, her revealing that, her being murdered, you could take that out of the film.
Uh-huh.
And the film is fine.
Then you don't have any women in it. That Bechdel test thing?
Yes.
Fail.
The nurses.
They don't talk to each other.
Yep. No. But I obviously understand this Bechdel test thing and having a woman in, but that as a storytelling and as a writer, unnecessary.
Yes.
It doesn't do enough to drive the plot.
Yep.
He's not doing this because he loves her. Like, he has other motives for building this clinic. It's not like he was just working away and then fell in love with her and he's like, well, I've got to do this good thing now.
Yes.
Like, he could have gone through his whole college and still ended up opening a free clinic. And then it
would have stayed open because he wouldn't have wanted to close it because she got murdered.
Well, and the clinic wouldn't have come to the attention of the dean because she wouldn't have gone there and gotten murdered.
Yeah.
But then the scene of him leaving and Truman being, "You're selfish, you need to stay," is an important scene. So that's the only really thing that Monica Potter's character serves in terms of the story. But I think that's easily written away of just like that he's worried the dean's going to find out. Or like Philip Seymour Hoffman's going to dob him in and so he cracks it.
I feel like yes, but no. Like, he clearly doesn't care what the dean thinks because he doesn't do anything he says.
Yeah. So we could have even like skipped over that bit completely and used that time to develop his intelligence a little bit more, develop the clinic a little bit more. But we get her story, and that's in there, and I'm sure that her character is in real life and was murdered, and that's something that Patch in real life had to deal with, so it gets into the movie.
I think the movie itself was just very cheesy to me. Like, it was clear award pandering.
Okay.
Based on a true story, inspirational, they love Robin Williams, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you're right. So we've got the personal blocks and the professional blocks after Corinne dies, because he is, for some reason, less motivated because she's not around.
Yeah.
But then there's also the professional blocks, and then he gets found out, which gives us the chance for the Oscar bait big passionate speech.
The by passionate speech, you mean in the courtroom, not the overly cheesy one at the top of a cliff?
Well, both. The cheesy one is cheesier, but the courtroom/hearing one is necessary for the tropes of the movie.
Yes.
And
it is the most important and trial in this history. That room is packed with men, no woman. No people of colour.
A couple of nurses.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple of nurses at the back.
And for some reason, the children from the ward don't come in until after the hearing has been decided.
Yeah, as he's going to gavel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The children come in. They could have been there the whole time. Even Philip Seymour Hoffman is there, ignoring the extras that are sitting either side of him. Yep. And I overall, though, I know you've said the whole thing is cheesy. I think it's a good story and it's told pretty well. There's a couple of things I would change. I'd probably take out the whole love story. Maybe you replace Truman with a woman. Give the nurse a bigger part.
Yeah, a little bit more diversity wouldn't help.
Yeah. But in terms
Wouldn't hurt.
Wouldn't hurt, yeah.
Sorry.
In terms of story structure, it's got those true story tropes, and it's got the big impassioned speech at the end, as well as the little challenges along the way that he obviously overcomes. We don't actually see a clinic with a nose and glasses on it.
I didn't get was there a thing at the end?
No.
Biopic, he went on to open the Gesundheit Clinic, yada yada.
Yeah. No. And the actual Gesundheit Clinic in West Virginia doesn't have a nose and glasses on it.
No, of course it doesn't.
It's just a funny-shaped building.
Yeah.
It's a very cute building.
I think overall that the movie doesn't quite have enough substance for me.
Yep.
Like, it's just very kind of inspirational story with Robin Williams being Robin Williams in bits, but then he's serious. And then it doesn't quite... I think that Robin Williams being Robin Williams detracts a bit from the message.
They've made it a Robin Williams movie they've favoured making a Robin Williams movie instead of telling the story of Patch Adams.
Yeah. Do you want to know what Patch Adams said about it?
Yes, please.
The real Patch Adams has been openly critical of the film, saying that it sacrificed much of his message to make a selling film.
Oh.
So he agrees with us. Does
he agree with us, or did you say that because you read that?
He agrees with us. He also said that out of all aspects of his life and activism, the film portrayed him merely as a funny doctor.
Yep.
He told film critic Roger Ebert, "I hate that movie." During a 2010 speech at the Mayo Clinic, Patch Adams said, "The film promised to build our hospital. None of the profits from the film ever came to us. And so basically 40 years into this work, we are still trying to build our hospital."
Yikes.
Furthermore, he said, "Robin Williams made $21 million for 4 months of pretending to be me in a very simplistic version and did not give $10 to my free hospital. Patch Adams, the person, would have, if I had Robin's money, given all $21 million to a free hospital in a country where 80 million people cannot get care. He just gave himself a little.
Yeah.
Adams later clarified that he did not hate Williams, and Williams has actively supported the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for several years.
Yes. Well, I was about to say, that doesn't sound very Robin Williams. And I feel like if Robin Williams knew... Robin Williams didn't donate personally because he thought the profits were going there. But if Robin Williams had known that the profits hadn't...
I think he would have given probably
he would
half
have
of
given something. Well, because we know from having done Aladdin...
Yes.
Then he was like, don't pay me for this and don't use me to sell the film.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't a selfish man.
No. Do you know, the movie only has 21% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Average rating of 4.2 out of 10.
I'm a bit, and it often comes up with based on a true stories. I thought the movie was good. I thought Robin Williams was very good. But then, you know, where do you draw the line? If you're saying based on a true story, how much of the true story do you need in to make it a good movie?
Well, yeah. I suppose there is artistic license with all based on a true stories.
Yes.
But I think the main criticism is that it's just too...
Light.
It's too... What's a word?
Light. Doesn't go deep enough and messagey enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's inspirational, but it's not inspirational.
So who instead...
Oh, well...
Speaking of, because we're saying they're favoured making a Robin Williams movie over making a Hunter Patch Adams movie.
Bill Murray declined.
Yep.
Which I think we're all fine with.
I'm okay with that, yeah. He certainly would have nailed the trying to convince Monica Potter to sleep with him part.
But he only had one timeline to do it in, not 1,000.
Okay, yeah, so he would have failed.
Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Tom Hanks was considered for the title role.
Would have been very good, but he is very good.
But he was busy doing another film called Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, okay.
So I think he made the right decision there. And that was all.
Would have been a very different movie with Tom Hanks.
I think it would have been much different. Probably not. I don't know. Would it have been better? Yes.
I don't think they would have, like we said, ripped pages out of the script and just let Robin Williams do what he wants.
And there would have been less of that comedy in it, I think.
Yeah.
Not that, because, well, Tom Hanks can do comedy, but it's not
big
comedy like Robin Williams comedy.
No.
He's a stand-up.
Yeah.
Whereas Tom Hanks is just a funny guy that acts.
Well, and I feel like...
I just so undersold Tom Hanks' talent. Tom Hanks is amazing. He's a funny guy.
He's an actor who can act in comedy.
He's an actor who is funny. He's not a comedian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think what Tom Hanks would have brought is the depth of message, but also, and just brought the funny out for the connection moments in the story.
Yes.
Rather than joking the way through that Robin Williams did.
Because I can see that scene where he's doing the stuff with the kids.
Yep.
Sounds bad. I can see Bill Murray kind of doing that. But I can't see Tom Hanks doing it.
Yeah, not to the same extent. Definitely, if you gave Tom Hanks a script that did that, it would have been very funny.
It would have been, yeah.
But I don't think it would have gone on as long, like you said before. What other impact? Any awards or anything?
Well, Mark Shyman's music score,
which was good,
was nominated for an Oscar.
It was good, but it was all very one vibe.
It also wasn't like, there weren't any moments where I was like, oh, that music was amazing. You know what I mean?
But there wasn't like very happy and very sad.
No.
It was all one vibey kind of, this is an inspirational movie soundtrack.
Yes. The film was also nominated for 2 Golden Globes for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy.
Okay.
Don't know which one of those it is. And Best Actor for Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy for Robin Williams.
All right. Okay.
He did win.
Did it make any money?
That's a very good question. It did. Its budget was 50 to 90 million.
It's a big gap.
And it box office 202. So, yes, it did make some money.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
The song Faith of the Heart, performed in the film by Rod Stewart,
Yeah, in the credits.
was later used as the theme song for Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah, that tracks.
I was like, I read that on Wikipedia. I'm like, I don't understand how that...
Yeah, what does that mean?
What makes that connection? Look, it's been referenced in a lot of things. Will and Grace, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, SNL, in Family Guy.
What a surprise.
There's a random episode where it's called Viewer Mail, and apparently viewers write in and say suggestion thing, and the whole premise of that little snippet of the episode is that there's Robin Williams clones.
Yeah,
They keep cloning and cloning, and that one of them is Patch Adams.
Okay.
Yep. There you go.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Awards?
Yeah.
All right. The Andy Millman from Ricky Gervais's Extras Worst Extra Award.
I have a few, but then I have to take off one. But I just have to say, at the start, I wrote it. The nurse/orderly guys at the mental hospital.
Yep.
It's just like, enjoy your room. But then he had too many lines.
They're meant to be bad.
Yeah, but then he had too many lines.
I wrote when he's in his first lecture with the dean at the medical school. Mm-hmm. Robin Williams is sitting in the row, and then Monica Potter is sitting diagonally behind him.
Yeah.
Robin Williams turns and stares at Monica Potter for probably 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And the guy next to him does not react to it.
Well, like it was the 60s. You're allowed to stare at women.
No, but surely then the guy next to Robin Williams is like, what is this guy staring at?
Mate, pay attention.
Or it would be either, come on, mate, we're here. It's the freaking dean, listen.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
he would be like, what is he staring at? And then stare at Monica Potter.
Yeah.
But he doesn't react at all.
I wrote ladies on a park bench.
When he does the flip.
Oh, yes. And she doesn't react, and then she...
I wrote them in best.
Oh. I did have a question mark.
Okay. We'll come back to them.
I wrote the gyno doctors that don't react.
Yep. I also wrote the big guy that laughs at his jokes at the meat convention laughs before he has any time to actually process the joke.
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
That was very loud.
Yeah. He laughs before the joke lands.
There was at one point, it was Patch and Karen, whatever.
Corinne.
Corinne are walking down the hallway.
Yep.
And then one guy full checks her out. Like there's an extra walk past her
really?
and then turns around like that meme and checks her out.
Is that Julia Roberts? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's the
After
meme.
he
Maybe
meets-
I need to find that frame and make it into a meme.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. Guy looking back, meme, blank.
Then I wrote Peter Coyote's wife,
Who just leaves the room.
who hasn't been there the whole time. Maybe because he's an asshole. But then rocks up with the kids and then just gets up and leaves and doesn't even acknowledge Patch when she walks past.
Yeah, I had similar,
And then
This
leaves
guy-
the room. So she's there because he's dying, then leaves the room,
yep.
and he dies.
Yeah. I had that, the whole family doesn't acknowledge Patch, but when Patch comes in, they just leave. They've just been told to leave, so they leave.
Yeah.
So I think it's got the guy that checks out Monica Potter then, so that I can use the meme.
I have a couple more.
Okay.
Well, is that good or bad? I had Ed, dizzy patient. You know when he's with the older dude that's not the asshole doctor, and come and draw this woman's blood.
Yep.
And he's the other doctor is like, how many fingers am I holding up?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I remember somebody asked me that once and I got it wrong. He's like, the doctor asked him 8 times, Ed,
Yeah.
how many fingers do you see? How many fingers do you see,
Yeah.
Ed? Ed, how many fingers do you
That scene also, though, like, in that context, 4 is the correct answer.
Yes.
Like, that's not a deep and meaningful question like the guy was asking him earlier. That's
No.
like, that's literally, we want to see if you're concussed.
Yeah.
So tell me 4.
So just say 4.
Because if you say 8, you're going for an MRI.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
a correct answer in that context.
Yeah, that was it.
So is it the guy that doesn't answer, or is it the doctor that's asking that you're nominating?
Well, I'm the guy that doesn't answer.
Okay.
But then it's like clearly you just have to keep asking so the patch can have some thought.
Yeah, okay. But is it the guy that checks out Monica Potter so that I can use the meme?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to build a meme.
That's right. Go memebuilder.com. No,
Guy checking out Monica Potter. There's 2 hours of movie. I've got to find this
I wrote
scene.
in brackets after he meets that other old guy.
After he meets that other old guy.
I don't know who that is. I don't know. It's when they do that stupid
That's not going to help.
pretend it's a safari shit.
I did like the scene where she was swimming in the spaghetti.
Oh, okay. Well,
It was weird. All right. So
that old lady that's always just an old lady in everything.
she's Jerry Seinfeld's grandma.
She is in Sister Act. She's in The Wedding Singer. She's an old lady.
Yeah. Oh, she's hip, hop,
Yeah.
hippity
Yeah.
granny. Yep.
Yeah.
The Estelle Reiner, speaking of old ladies, Best Extra Award. I'll have what she's having. The Best Extra Award. I'm going to... All right. So to clear up your question, Mark,
Yeah.
I think the old lady that... So he flips down off the light post
Yeah.
and says hi to this old lady. I think I'm nominating her
Okay, good.
because she's like, hi, you fucking weirdo. But then stops and laughs.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, you fucking weirdo, in a fun way this time.
Yeah. No, you're a fun weirdo.
And then walks off. So I'm nominating her, but I'm also nominating the 2 women at the bus stop for best extras.
Uh-huh.
Because normally in those types of scenes,
They don't
the
react.
peripheral extras don't react.
Yeah.
But in IRL, in real life,
Yeah.
they would react.
Okay.
And so I'm nominating them for best extras as well.
Yes. I started writing down at the very start
Yep.
the guy that's how many fingers do you see?
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought it was just going to be him just yelling at him
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
it.
But then he became a pivotal
he's
character.
quite an important character. He's more important than Monica Potter in this.
That's true.
And then I wrote the dad comes to the hospital with his kid
Yep.
and then Patch is like treating them in some way and then the dean comes in and is like, what are you doing here? And then he says something, talk back and forth and then Patch leaves and the dad just goes, smart clown, hey?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's the old lady.
The one, hi.
Hi. And then...
Hi, you fucking weirdo. And then, oh, you're a funny weirdo.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I am...
Honourable mention to Coach Beast.
Yeah.
Just because we know who she is.
Yep. Monica Potter is another case for us introducing an award for the least influential main character.
Yeah. I also
Because you
don't
could take her out of the
know
movie and not much else would change.
How influential really is Philip Seymour Hoffman in this movie?
Well, he doesn't have to
They
be.
help each other at some point, so I guess that's where
We're not
it comes
influential on the story, but as a storytelling device, he's the seriousness against Robin Williams' hilarity.
in. Yeah.
Okay, so the old lady he hangs off the light post at says hi.
Yeah.
Is the Estelle Reiner Best Extra Award. The Ben Stiller, there's something about Mary most cryingest moment.
Was it the funeral?
No.
Okay, because
I don't cry sad.
her brother didn't cry either in that.
Worst extra.
Who I'm assuming is her brother anyway. Something with kids.
Oh, I'm reading the wrong section. When the kids are in the hearing and put the noses on.
Oh, of course it was
I moistened then.
God.
But also when he flashes his ass at graduation.
That was, you cried. Oh,
Because that's
fucking
funny
hell.
and happy and it sums the whole thing up and even a couple of the asshole doctors laugh.
Yeah.
And the nurses who apparently do have non-nurse clothes.
Yeah. They're
laugh
funny.
as well.
I liked them.
They were good.
There's always a sassy black nurse.
But they even wore their nurses' clothes to the hearing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, they do have casual clothes that they wore to graduation.
I liked when they were doing that safari stupid thing that in the middle of the night that would have woken everybody up. And the younger nurse was like, what is that noise? And she's like, it's nothing.
She's like, it is nothing.
Should I go get someone? You're like, no.
No.
Know your place, woman.
Yeah, do as you're frickin' told, bitch. Yeah. So a couple of moments that I moistened.
I think it would be the courtroom with the kids.
The kids in the hearing.
Yep.
The Halle Berry worst line. Oh, I have one more worst extra that for some reason I didn't write down in my notes.
Oh.
In the hearing,
Yep.
he gets a standing ovation.
Except from Philip Seymour Hoffman.
This guy, I don't know worst or best extra, and I'll explain it.
Okay.
Everybody stands, and everyone's clapping, and everybody is whooping.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Except one guy who is dead center of the top level
Oh, really?
just stands there and claps. And I'm like, is he worst extra because everyone was told to whoop and he didn't? Or is he best extra because in every standing ovation, not everyone's on board?
But he was already standing. Why would he be clapping it?
Well, he stood and clapped. Sometimes...
If he's at the top of the balcony, though, he's already standing.
No, there were seats up there.
Oh.
So everybody stands and everybody's whooping, but this guy's just like... So is he worst extra because he didn't whoop when everybody should have been?
I don't think he's either.
Or is he best extra?
I think he's just there. I don't think he's that good or that bad.
He's just an extra.
He's just a guy clapping.
The most middle-of-the-road extra award goes to Guy clapping on the second level. All right, well, let's forget that I brought that up then. The Halle Berry X-Men Worst Line Award.
I have a few.
When the guy with 4 fingers or 8 fingers says, "Good night, Patch," out of nowhere.
Oh, that's your worst line.
It's one of my nominations because it doesn't come from anything, and all of a sudden his name is Patch.
I had, you know, when they're in his room and they're doing the therapy session.
Yep.
And then Robin Williams is making fun of a mentally ill patient with his hand in the air.
Yeah.
Almost every line in that scene, but mainly, how do you say hello to Hitler?
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that guy's clearly Jewish.
Yeah.
I then wrote, I've always wanted to be in a swimming pool full of noodles.
Yeah, she's a bit kinky, that lady.
But it was like, that was her one wish. But then why it was her one wish was so stupid to me.
Yeah.
It was just like, because I used to play with spaghetti as a kid?
Because I used to squish the noodles that Grandma made or something.
I don't know.
The scene in the diner where they discuss the cost of medicine, there's not a worst line in that for me, but it's just clunky.
Just like, my antibiotics cost me $100.
And then the worker goes, the government should pay for medication.
Yeah.
And then it's basically 3 characters saying, hey, Patch, why don't you make a free clinic? That should be your purpose in life.
Yeah.
So that whole scene I'm nominating.
I also wrote, what for when the dean tells him to leave? Like, mate, you've done plenty wrong.
Yeah. What for? Like, well, because you've broken every rule, even after the dean has almost kicked you out for breaking the rules.
You've been warned.
Yeah.
And you're still breaking the rules. I wrote, in all of God's creations, only humans kill their own kind. I read that because I'm not sure that that's true.
No. Black widow spiders, just off the top of my head.
Like wolves. They fight. Lions fight each other.
Yep. Rhinos.
Yeah.
Deer.
Sure.
Oh, I was going to say birds, but they're not real.
Yeah, they're drones.
Yeah. I saw a bird die the other day. It's dark, I know. It's obviously no free clinic for birds. But it was a baseball, and I just was like, there was this bird next to the fence, and then it was trying to move, and I'm like, oh, I think that bird's not in a good way. And then I turned and watched the pitch, I wasn't batting at the time. I was on the sidelines coaching.
Strike. Oh, sorry. There's a bird
Sorry,
dying.
the bird died. Can I have a
Can I have a mulligan?
No, I was coaching. Probably I should have been more focused on the coaching as well. I was watching this bird was trying to move, but it wasn't moving. So then I watched the pitch, and then I turned back, and the bird was not moving anymore.
Jesus.
Also, I ran over a bird with my car this morning.
Oh, my God.
But like,
Oh, anyway.
it's like, no, they're meant to move. I don't want to sound like George
Yeah,
Costanza.
okay, I know what
but
you
like,
mean.
we have an agreement.
Yeah, I almost stepped on a pigeon in the city the other day. But then I was in the city the other day, as I am most days, and then a couple were walking on the street, and as they walked past me, the guy said to this woman, like, "Oh, no." And then she looked back, she's like, "Oh." And it was a dragonfly that had been squished. I was like, seriously, it's a dragonfly. I know they're all God's creatures or
All God's
whatever.
creatures. But yeah, there you go. Okay.
Speaking of God, yeah, so that's another nomination. And then I wrote this, and I'm not sure if it's a worse line or if it's just really stupid. You have one responsibility, to be a dickhead. How hard can it be? You just have to make sure your head is a dick and it's attached to your neck.
Actually, that's it. I'm nominating that.
Can I say my favourite line?
Yep.
My favourite line is from our four-fingered friend. And it is...
Ralph Wiggum. Did you mention him earlier?
Yeah. It is, "Hey, Patch, have you learned anything about proctology yet?" I think literally goes, "Okay, take care of this asshole for me."
Yep. Fantastic.
I loved it.
But yeah, I'm accepting your nomination of you have one responsibility to be a dickhead.
Yeah, good.
All right? That's it.
Because I thought it was stupid. And then he would have been like, "You're expelled." And then he would have gone, "But why?"
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. He's still passed.
All right.
He's smart for some reason.
The I Am Your Father most iconic scene.
Uh-huh.
It's just him with the kids.
It's him with the kids in that first...
Full
with the-
stop.
yeah.
One
done.
nomination,
That's
one
all.
win.
That's all I wrote.
Yeah.
Especially though when he puts like the bedpan on his head.
And he's like,
And on his feet.
you know, being a bit of Fred Astaire with the bedpans.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, done.
Done.
That
was the easiest one we've done.
That's our review of Patch Adams. And so this week, because we are reviewing Patch Adams, and it is been our sixth movie of Robin Williams, our second movie of Monica Potter, probably our third movie of Peter Coyote.
This outrageous fortune.
Be something else. Anyway, because it's the sixth movie on Two Drink Cinema that we reviewed of Robin Williams, we are
I just did a 6 degrees. Continue.
doing our top 5.
Yes.
That's not even a 6 degrees.
It's a 2 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway,
We
continue.
know what's coming next anyway, people. If you
Last
don't-
week I said I told you to be much quicker. Anyway,
Yep.
good.
We're doing a top 5 Robin Williams movies.
This was hard.
2 of the movies we reviewed have not come close to my top 5.
Yes. One of
This
the
was
movies...
very hard.
2 of the movies... 3 of the movies we reviewed are in my top 5. If we're including one of them.
So I could almost have given an equal first.
It was tough.
Yeah.
But there was one on my list, but then I rewatched over the weekend, and it is now not on my list.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'll still give it an honourable mention when it gets time to do honourable mentions.
My number 5 is one
Yeah.
that we've done.
Okay.
The Birdcage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not my number 5. My number 5 is one that we haven't done, but we will do at some point.
Yep.
Hook.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say, I know one that it's up there in movies for you, but I don't know if it's up there in Robin Williams movies for you.
It might be getting an honourable mention.
We'll see.
Continue.
My number 4
Yes.
is Good Morning Vietnam.
Okay. See, I haven't seen that, so it's not on my list.
I watched it after he passed because we watched a lot of Robin Williams movies after he passed, and I'm very glad that I did watch it. It is a very good movie, and he is very funny, but it's also a very good movie that comments on the Vietnam War without being too heavy in the commentary,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah? So, yeah, number 4, Good Morning Vietnam.
My number 4 is Birdcage.
Okay. Above. Yep. Okay. That's fine.
Birdcage is probably one of my favourite movies ever.
It's a very, very good movie.
It's just easy to watch, but mainly because of Nathan Lane doing a John Wayne impression. Continue.
Yep. All right. My number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Aladdin.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
He won a special Golden Globe for
He
Aladdin.
did. Yeah.
For voice acting in an animated feature.
Uh-huh.
And I love when award shows just like, well, we can't give him Best Supporting Actor. Just invent an award for him.
Invent an award, yeah.
And it is iconic, and we have reviewed it. And he changed casting of animated features.
Yeah,
from
for
then
good or bad, depending on who you ask.
Yeah, depending on whether you're a voice actor or not.
Yeah, whether you're that girl that was Ariel. My number 3,
Yep.
this is where it got tough.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you'll understand that when I say what my number 3 is. It's Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh. Tough.
Tough. It's, I think, probably his most iconic role, really. I was watching an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race UK the other day, and they do the Snatch Game, which is where they impersonate celebrities.
And someone did Mrs.
And
Doubtfire.
somebody did Robin, because they can't use character names.
Oh, yeah.
So they're Robin Williams.
Yep.
Just like if you do a Catherine Tate character, you're Catherine Tate.
And in the Aussie one, they do Jane Turner.
Yeah,
they don't do
you're
Cafe
Jane Turner
Knight.
and Magda Zabansky.
Yeah.
Which one I did one, and that was really funny. But it was as Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yep.
But then the funny thing they did was they would Mrs. Doubtfire, but then when they were talking, they would then like be some other random voice kind of thing. So it was very good.
Fantastic. Very Robin
That
Williams.
wasn't their idea.
So your number 3 was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire, his most iconic role. Yeah. But I'm basing it off quality of movie.
Okay. My number 2 is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, okay. Okay.
His most iconic role.
I feel like our top 3 are going to be the same,
Is
but
your
in
number
different orders.
2 Aladdin then?
No.
Oh.
My
Okay.
number 2 is Good Will Hunting.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to explain that now in my honourable mentions.
Okay.
So I know he won an Oscar for Good Will Hunting.
Yeah. Your number 1's going to be... Okay, go. Continue. No.
So Good Will Hunting is in the top of the honourable mentions for me.
Uh-huh.
I know he won an Oscar, but I don't put that as a Robin Williams movie. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So,
yes.
like, top movies of Robin Williams, yes, it would be right
I feel
up
like
there.
I feel like you made up kind of rules to make the choice of your top 5 easier.
Wait till you see what I've done next week. So my honourable mentions are Good Will Hunting.
Uh-huh.
I've only seen the movie a couple of times, and the 5 movies that are in my top 5 I prefer over Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
And it is also...
But are they better?
He is significantly larger of a part in the 5 I've chosen.
Uh-huh.
And I also think he is very good in the 5 I've chosen.
Yeah.
In terms of Robin Williams' performances, I had Insomnia in my honourable mentions as well.
Oh, okay.
Better than... I'll go back to last year. We should have chosen Insomnia and not 1 Hour Photo because we're tossing up.
Yeah.
I also had, in terms of Robin Williams' performances, I had Patch Adams low in my honourable mentions.
Oh.
He's quite good in the movie.
Yeah.
The movie might not be great, but he is quite good.
Okay.
And I also had
Oh, you have 4. Okay.
Live on Broadway 2002.
Oh. Fuck's sake.
Not a movie, but it is his best performance.
Yeah.
And if you haven't... He won a Grammy for
Yes.
the CD version of it.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched Live on Broadway 2002,
What an EGOT.
don't worry, because I've watched it enough for all of you listening.
Yeah. And I have by osmosis.
Yep.
I have 3 honourable mentions.
Okay.
One is Jumanji for nostalgia purposes.
Yep. I knew it would be in there somewhere.
Jumanji.
It's also in your top 5 Kirsten Dunst movies.
I
there
can
5?
only name 5. The other honourable mention I have is Happy Feet
Yeah, I
for
I thought about
cameo-y
that.
bit part.
Yep, I
Very
thought
good
about
of
that.
the vocals. The other one I had in my top 5, but then I took out because I watched it on the weekend and thought it's one of the most overrated movies ever. Dead Poets Society. Should I just say your number 1?
That's my number 1.
Okay, so I watched Dead Poets Society. One, I thought it was boring. Two, I thought it was just like, these people are pretentious. And I was like...
Well, yeah, they're a snobby private school. That's the point
and
of
I
the
was like,
movie, is that Robin Williams comes in and disrupts their pretentiousness
I didn't enjoy
to
it.
the point where one unalives himself. Like, he's that disruptive.
I know. I didn't enjoy it. I thought some of the acting was quite bad. Not from Robin Williams.
Well,
From maybe the parents of the kid that unalives himself when they find him unalive.
I think we may have approached this top 5 slightly differently, and maybe you've done the top 5 movies that Robin Williams are in, and I've done the top 5 Robin Williams performances.
I've done...
Because his performance in
I've-
Dead Poets Society is
Yeah.
very good.
I've done my top 5 movies Robin Williams in that I think is the best.
Maybe we need to discuss our criteria a little bit better before we do our top 5s.
So your one is Dead Poets Society.
My number 1 is Dead Poets Society.
Mine is Aladdin.
Okay, yep. That is iconic. Doubtfire and Aladdin Genie are his 2 iconic characters.
I am on record as saying that Aladdin is my favourite Disney movie and it has the best music.
We could have stuck Mork and Mindy in there, because that's pretty iconic Robin Williams, but it's a TV show.
Yeah. There was other ones. I was like...
I have not seen The Fisher King.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Good Morning Vietnam.
I haven't seen Toys in a very long time, but I
don't
also
think
think
I
I
want
don't
to.
need to.
I don't. I looked up... So, when I was Googling, I was like, let me look at how my list compares to, Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep.
For someone who's done a lot of movies, he doesn't have a lot of movies that have high Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Well, and this is the thing, when I looked up the inspiration list, he hasn't got that many movies over his long career where he has been the lead.
Yeah.
So, like, my top 5, other than Aladdin, he is the lead. Birdcage, Vietnam, Doubtfire, Dead Poets Society.
Yep.
Patch Adams, Insomnia, RV, 1 Hour Photo.
Fangirl.
They are like him being the lead. And then he's like Genie in Aladdin, Batty in this, cameo in Happy Feet, one of the exhibits in Night at the Museum.
Yeah.
He's a lot of time second bill, but when he is top bill, the rest of the cast is not a top bill cast, like Patch Adams.
Yeah.
And
So-
Good Will Hunting,
Except for
is
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Sally Field.
Pierce Brosnan.
And that girl,
Yeah. Just
Matilda.
Matilda. So his top 5, according to Rotten Tomatoes.
By the way, that's probably your best impression in 2 years of doing this podcast.
I thought your best impression was a couple
Duck.
episodes ago. Donald Duck. Good Will Hunting, 97%.
Yep. Okay.
Aladdin, 95%. Hamlet, 95%.
Oh, yeah.
But again, he has one scene. Insomnia, 92%. Good Morning Vietnam, 89%.
Yep.
That's his top 5.
According to Rotten Tomatoes.
Let's look at his bottom 5. So there's 57 movies on this list.
Wow.
Number 57, Old Dogs with John Travolta.
Yep.
5%.
Oh,
Number 56, The Big Wedding, 2013.
never heard of it.
Robert De Niro, Diane Keaton. Oh, God. Susan Sarandon, Katherine Heigl.
What a cast.
7%.
Oh, jeez.
License to Wed,
Yep.
Mandy Moore and John Krasinski.
He
7%.
Yeah, he marries them.
He's like the pastor, and like you have to do these things before you get married.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Mandy
Survivors, 1983, with him and Walter Matthau.
Yeah,
54%. Synopsis. When Sonny Peluso's, Walter Matthau's gas station is blown up and Don Quinnell, Robin Williams, loses his cushy executive job, ...
Jeez.
Once they declare war on each other, watch out, you could die laughing.
Is it a grumpy old men prequel?
I was going to say, it sounds like Grumpy Old Men. And number 53, The Angriest Man in Brooklyn from 2014.
Yeah, I saw that on the
Great
list.
cast again, 9%. Robin Williams, Mila Kunis, Peter Dinklage, James L. Jones, Melissa Leo.
Peter Dinklage cast as a short person again, I bet.
He's got a terrible haircut on the poster. House of D. Oh, God.
Oh, dear. Don't go into your search history.
Gosh, yeah, so he has some very bad, like, Jack, 17%.
Yeah.
You know, Patch Adams, 21%, which we touched. Flubber,
So
23.
RV is above all of these.
RV, 24%. 9 months, 27%. Father's Day, toys. Hook only has 29%?
Maybe I should watch RV. No.
Maybe we shouldn't.
I've got better things
Imagine
to
if
do.
you didn't, you liked it.
Or 2 years of the podcast down the drain. All right, that's
Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Anyway.
That's our top 5 Robin Williams movies or movies featuring Robin Williams.
The top 5
Or
best
Robin Williams
movies of my
performances.
opinion of which Robin Williams is in.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I thought was the assignment.
Yeah, we'll have a meeting before
We'll have
next
before
episode.
next episode. What is next episode, Lee?
Good question.
I've got a 6 degrees.
Okay. So the next episode is Beaches,
Oh.
which we've been waiting for, which my oldest friend was disgusted that I had not seen.
You won't cry
Yeah.
because it's sad, so you won't cry.
So I won't cry. All right. And it's not even a 6 degrees. Bette Midler, Peter Coyote, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is in Patch Adams with Peter Coyote, who was in Outrageous Fortune, the 5th greatest movie ever made, with Bette Midler.
Yep. All right.
Done.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Two Drink Cinema. We are next week watching Beaches, so get on to that. You can watch it on Disney+.
Disney Plus, yes.
Thank you, Brett.
Thanks, Lee. Cheers. Thanks for listening to Two Drink Cinema. We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this podcast was produced and pay our respects to elders past and present.
If you'd like to support the podcast, either leave a tip or become a member for early access to these episodes by using the link in the show notes.
Join the Facebook group for more chat about the movies we review, and make sure you follow us on the socials to keep up to date.
Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review on your podcast app.
Happy viewing and drink responsibly.